Kevin Dotson has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams. Welcome into Steelers Talk. Guys, today I'm on my day off, but it doesn't matter, man. I'm going to get you guys your Steelers content, whether I'm at home, whether I'm at the office. It doesn't matter, man. And that level of dedication, you're not going to get anywhere else, man. So do me a favor right now. Click that subscribe button because this is why you subscribe to the channel right here. Breaking news action every time there's a trade, every time there's a signing, every time there's a cut. And we're going to have a bunch of great cut day stuff coming up this week. So you're not going to want to miss that. So for every single Steelers move from the news on the black and gold this year, make sure you click that subscribe button for me right now. Now let's just jump right into today's news. Offensive guard Kevin Dotson, former starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams, where the Steelers and Rams did a couple of pick swaps here, which allows the Steelers to upgrade their draft picks in both the 2024 and 2025 NFL draft. So they swapped the fourth rounder of Los Angeles for next year's draft, 2024, with the fifth rounder in next year's draft. So the Steelers move up a round next year. And then also in the 2025 draft, they move up another round here, turning their sixth round pick into a fifth round pick. So I think that overall it's a very, very good deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially given that you're upgrading in the middle rounds of the draft here for getting rid of somebody that's not going to be on the field for you this year, or most likely barring injury. It seems like Nate Herbig, the team really believes in him as that first guy off the bench, whether somebody on the interior of the offensive line, whether it's Isaac Seumalo, Mason Cole, or James Daniels. If one of those guys gets hurt, it's going to be Nate Herbig plugging in there. And then another takeaway that I'd have from this is that Spencer Anderson is almost certainly going to be on the roster now. I mean, going in, it was a little bit on the bubble there. Will Spencer Anderson make it? Will he not? With Kevin Dotson on the roster, but now that you take off another interior offensive lineman from the roster, that opens up a spot for Spencer Anderson to kind of fill in there, especially because Spencer is somebody that can play tackle as well. So he'd be a nice emergency offensive lineman. And they obviously drafted him in the seventh round of this year's NFL draft for a reason. They tend to like him. So it seemed like the Steelers weren't going to trade Kevin unless they got the compensation that they wanted. And it seems like Les Snead there, the GM of the Los Angeles Rams, was willing to pay that price. And I really do think that for a backup offensive lineman, this is an excellent trade from Omar Khan. And it's yet another masterpiece. I mean, I don't know if it's like a game changer. You're only moving up one round from fourth to fifth. But listen, man, a fourth round pick is a lot more valuable than a fifth rounder, okay? Like you just look at the value chart for NFL draft picks. A fourth rounder, that's Nick Herbig, right? You have an opportunity to draft another Nick Herbig type player in next year's NFL draft because of this opportunity and this trade, and that it only raises your odds of finding a potential starter on day 3 of the NFL draft there by upgrading these picks. And Kevin was somebody that has been saying throughout the process here, throughout the offseason, man, I was really bummed that they signed Isaac. He hasn't said anything bad about Isaac or any of the other guys that are starting above him, but it definitely seemed like he wanted a little bit of a change of scenery after being a starter in that locker room before, to go down and kind of be a backup from this point forward. It's just not something that these guys usually want to do, especially with the same team. So now he's going to the Los Angeles Rams, who definitely need help on the offensive line. I'd say Kevin has a pretty darn good shot at starting for them on the offensive line. And here's the thing, man. I think Kevin gets a little bit of a bad rap from Steelers fans. I will say that. I think that people try to make it seem like he was so bad and that he's just not very good as an offensive lineman, but I actually think he's pretty decent. He had some pretty bad moments with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not going to hide behind those, but I do think overall Kevin Dotson is a pretty decent player and probably a replacement level starter in the National Football League. So I think he's going to Los Angeles. I wish him all the best of luck, man. And I do think it's a good move for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of the compensation. I think it definitely shows that Spencer Anderson is for sure going to be making this 53-man roster. He will not be cut. But the one question that I do have now is, what about Kendrick Green? Do you hang on to yet another season of Kendrick Green? I sure hope not. I'm not going to predict that. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think they will end end up cutting Kendrick Green by Tuesday. But, it definitely tells me Spencer Anderson's going to be here, and Nate Herbig is going to be the first guy off the bench when it comes to interior offensive linemen. Now, you guys have heard what I think about this trade. Now, get in the comment section and let me know. Grade this trade for me, A, B, C, D, or F. How do you feel about this trade? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section, because I want to see how you guys are feeling about Kevin Dotson heading to the Los Angeles Rams. Now, yesterday we put out our official 53-man roster projection, where, of course, Kevin Dotson is on there. And so we didn't get to the cuts that the Steelers made yesterday. So I want to break those down real quick. The Steelers made 8 cuts on Saturday. I'm filming this on Sunday, of course. So the guys that ended up getting cut was our guy, Madre Harper. We had Madre on the show doing an interview. He's a great personality. I thought he actually had maybe a chance to make the practice squad, but it seems like his performance in training camp and during the preseason wasn't good enough for the Steelers coaching staff to even keep him around till Tuesday, so he ended up getting cut. Then the other players that got cut, Neville Clark recently signed slot corner, then James Nemaya, defensive tackle, BT Potter, the kicker, so it looks like Boz is going to be that starting kicker once again here in Pittsburgh. You got Keani Deng, who was just signed this week. Same thing with Forrest Ryan, an inside linebacker that was recently signed. And then Rex Sunahara, long snapper competition, has been cut as well. And then Dan Chesna, the wide receiver, has also been cut. So, the Steelers still have quite a bit of a ways to go before they get to 53. There's still a lot of guys in that Steelers locker room hoping that they don't get cut here, but it's looking like the Steelers roster is going to be very, very good with a lot of good depth here. And you lose a little bit of a depth piece here with Kevin Dotson. I know some people are gonna say, well, it would have been really nice to have 2 really good backup guards, and I can see why people would say that, right? Some people aren't ready to put Spencer Anderson in that second backup role here with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I think that if the Steelers feel good about it and Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin feel confident that Spencer Anderson is ready to take Kevin Dotson's kind of spot on this roster and his role to fill, I trust those guys to make the right decision. And I do think Omar Khan got really good compensation here. He increases his odds to maybe land a couple of day 3 steals, which is always advantageous. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what this Steelers offense is going to look like. We weren't going to see Kevin Dotson a whole lot anyways, so you might as well increase your chances in the lottery that is the NFL draft. All right, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. For more Steelers news, daily Steelers news and rumors coverage here on YouTube, 100% free. Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Then, of course, we got our weekly live shows that we do on Wednesdays, and then we go live for every single Steelers game with our live watch parties that are a ton of fun. So if you want the most comprehensive fan experience, if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, this is going to be the place for you. So do me a favor, click that subscribe button right now. That'll be it for me today, guys. I'll be back in studio tomorrow to get us ready for cut day on Tuesday. So until then, here we go, Steelers.